Well, hello there. Previously on Tyler's V8 S10 long tube header install. This guy. Gosh dang it, I'm just dropping everything. Like I said, if you take the wheel off, this is the easiest way, and definitely studs, because who wants to hold that shit up there and put it in position? And I just moved that location and tucked it in as tight as I could against the firewall right here. Keep it off the heat of the header. And this will slide in right here, but then it'll stop turning here, and you won't have any turning. So the headers I got is a 1 7/8. These guys down there. I don't understand why they're gonna give you these little small holes. I mean, my pecker won't even fit in there soft. Well, gosh dang, I roll inside to make a man drink, and then I come out, and then this junk starts to quickly creep in. Let's see if we can get one of these guys done so I can show you the whole process of porting these guys out. It's actually not as bad as I thought. So today, we're porting these flanges out for these big boys right here. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so what I'm using right here is the AFR 6905 gasket for the headers. So we're going to use this as a template. I've already tested these guys out, and once we port this guy out right here, you'll see that it's pretty darn close and minimal effort is needed after you get this lined up. So you make sure all these holes right here are lined up on the flange, right? Then you just hold it down there, make sure nothing's moved, and then you make your mark for the hole. It's like so. I like to take it off and then just kind of fill this in. Gives me a better idea if I'm looking at it at a weird angle, which I'm going to be looking at it from a weird angle, where this guy needs to be at. So, dang it, you hear that thunder? It's coming in. Let's see if we can't do it. All right, so I'm not going to recommend anyone do what I'm about to do, but I don't have a bench to clamp this down. And when this guy's spinning like this, listen to it. That's a lot of RPM, and don't sit there and hold it and try to do it like this. It will run away from you really, really fast. So either clamp this down on a table or be dumb like me and do it like this. So my feet are going to be the clamps, and I'm going to get it right here with both hands. So one of my neighbors just came over and gave me that. And then his lawnmower took a dump, so now he has to go over there and get a jump box. And it's about to rain. Let me pull the stuff inside real quick. We just got it done in time. When y'all are grinding, make sure y'all pick up one of these so you can get all the metal up. Because this thing will leave metal everywhere. And it will get all in your house and your wife's feet. And then she will bitch at you. So make sure you get all the metal up. Look at that. Keep that rain out. Freaking headers are already starting to rust. So we are back at the S10 and I have this guy bolted up to the head. Actually, I can't remember. I forget what these bolts are called. I don't think they're even called a bolt. I think they're called like a cap screw, something like that. Well, they're recessed so this guy is flat. You know, I do believe they called it like an Allen drive cap screw, something like that. I can't remember. I was just doing something in the past that comes to mind. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, let's get back to the porting. See, this one's a little bit smaller. I did that on purpose because that way I can kind of fill on the top here, fill on the bottom. And if you notice this right too, the bolt right here, or cap screw, whatever you want to call it, kind of protrudes into the port also. We can fix that. You don't want to just grind the whole thing down and take away its clamping force. You want to wait until the gasket goes on the back here, because it has to be a gasket on the back. There's going to be a gasket on the front for the header. So right here, once you get that gasket in there and all these guys are ported out, you know, correctly to your ports, that way it's not intruding into the exhaust as it exits. You want to torque it down. And then when you torque it down, you'll just take a little marker here. You just draw a little line right here on the outside, grind it down. So when you torque it down again, it will be perfectly with that. I've done it before. It works pretty well. And the same thing for this guy right here. Let me go up real quick. Oopsie daisy. So like I said, I just kind of feel in here with my finger. If I feel a little bit of ridge right there, let me show you what I do. Got my scribe tool of choice, old Sharpie. I love these guys right here. Everyone uses Dike and whatever. I've been using Sharpies for years. Never let me down. So when I find the section I need to port a little bit, I'll just take this guy right here and I will just mark it like that. Because you can fill it, take it off, and then port it again. But I just like to use a Sharpie. That way I know exactly where I need to port it. And of course, it was raining outside. Now it's late, so I can't port it. But that's the process. You would mark it, take it off, port it, put it back on, and you really got to mark it, port it, put it back on. Don't get too crazy with it. Just do a little bit at a time until you get it just right, like this guy right here. So I have it just a little bit outside the lines. I need to actually port a little more right here on this guy because I want to get them all as close as possible. So that way everything is nice and balanced. And like I said, when the gasket goes on, you'll just mark right here on the side of this cap screw, and you'll make sure it's torqued good and tight so that when you put it back on there, it won't be intruding into the port. Okay, so right here I have the Shorties. And first you can see the massive difference on the pipe side. We're definitely doing an upgrade here. But I wanted to show you guys this. I did my best with these guys right here on the AFR heads in the past to try to port them out so they match the ports. But as you can see right here, there's a good bit of overhang. Like right there is how much it overhangs. I feathered it as good as I could. So, you know, these weren't just like, you know, your run-of-the-mill Shorties. I did work on them, and I got them about as good as they can be before you start blowing through a whole bunch of material back there. I mean, they're still pretty good. Like, when these guys are for sale, I'm going to sell my whole exhaust out the S10 for, you know, $250. Local only. I ain't shipping it because that's a lot of stuff to ship out. But I do think that we're going to have some pretty good gains with this. At least I hope. So if you guys want to see those gains and see everything else that I do to this guy to get it working, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, guys, peace.